But either way, man, follow me. You know, it helps me out, helps the show, helps my ratings, I guess. You know, you never know. You hear a great show, you might mess around with the mess rounds and share it to somebody else. And they might like the show. And they might mess around, share somebody else, and so on and so forth. Forever. And I can get a whole lot of followers and listens and likes and all that stuff. You know, if you got the time, follow your boy. Shoot, all of the X Squad affiliates, you follow us, you follow Realcast, Realcast Rangers Radio, Realcast Radio and Realcast Rangers. You can find them on RealcastRangers.com. You can find RealcastRadio.com, excuse me. And you can find us all at XSquadAffiliates.com. Also follow the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah, shouts out to my man Dougie. Yeah, you know. Shouts out to my man Dougie. You know what I'm saying? Dougie! Talk to me, man! Dougie, talk to me, man. You know what I'm saying? Dougie!
Talk to me, man. It's your boy, man, Young Ovi. You turn
I'm loving these new buttons I got, man. These new buttons.
Get right into the proceedings this evening.
Okay, yeah. Anyway. So yeah, Willie said that's the best chance for Katie to get a ring going there. Dollar says, when I was pledging, took L's, but never straight up beat down. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, you know, beat downs, whether you took one or not, you know, beat downs is not something most people, I can't say most people have taken beat downs. There are more likely people to have taken, who have not taken beat downs outside of like people in their family. You know what I'm saying? Or like your homeboys, or, you know, like Dollar said when he pledged, you know, I guess they jump you, or if you decide to join the Bloods or the Crips or whatever gang you choose to decide, your prerogative, haha. But, you know, gangs like to jump people in and do all type of different initiations. But anyway, we have my stat man late to work again. You will hear all types of other people call him names like Sushi Rice Eating and Brady Jockstrap Holding, but not here. Not in the microwave. He is the recipient of a BPA award on the Doug Stewart Show, SME. You cook with the microwave. He is also, I believe, for the third out of 4 weeks, he is also, it could be 4 out of 4. He is also a multiple time nominee for the Bald Penis Award. Now, all right, so look, Doug don't necessarily be having time to explain everything. I don't know what's wrong with me, man. I like to explain things. So if you're listening on SME and you have no idea, or you're just listening out there and you have no idea what the Bald Penis Award is, so there's one particular day, right? Now, Doug is from South Carolina, from Moncks Corner to be exact. And there's one particular show where Doug was naming things off or whatever, and he said, peanuts taste better, boy. Now, Doug says peanuts, almost like Peanits, peanuts. So, yeah. So Doug says peanuts, and this is, you know, like a lot of times when Doug comes on live, like I'm working, so I can't really jump in the chat room like say. So sometimes I sneak in, sometimes I might throw a little message if I'm driving. Most time I try not to text while I drive, try not to post messages while I'm driving. But like if I'm in a customer's house or I'm sitting outside fixing their AC and I got a couple seconds, I might chime in real quick or whatever and jump in the chat room. But anyway, one of these days I went in the chat room and you know, I can't remember who exactly it was, but somebody was basically talking about when Doug said peanuts, they was talking about penis. You know, and like, oh, Doug, like, it might have been my partner, man, if I'm not mistaken. I'll catch up to the chat later and see if it was him. Jersey, if it was you that originated this, go on with the goings-ons and post it in the chat rooms, man, so I can give you your proper credit, sir. Anyway, and, you know, it was just like Doug talking about, you know, like Doug said in the old commercial, boiled man parts. He talking, you know, boiled penis. So, you know, I don't know, like the very next week after, you know, that was a big episode of Doug's show. And the very next week, it might have been the same week. I can't remember what day of the week it was. But anyway, somebody had did something real stupid. And then, like, the joke in the chat room was just like, boy, penis to this, boy, penis to that person, boy, penis to that. You know, so all of a sudden, Doug turned it into a war, which pretty much is like the bust of the week as he describes it. You know, and we pretty much over here, Cooking with the Microwave, describes it as, you know, the person that does the dumbest shit of the week. You know, you do something stupid and yada, yada. And so Grego is a 3 or 4-time nominee, and he's a 1-time winner. He won that week for saying that he doesn't rock with KRS. But on this show, you will hear to him as nothing more than my stat man who shows up to work late or doesn't show up at all. But he's my guy, and he's D's guy. Grego, the stat man, is in the building. Gunshot from a stat man them. What up, Grego? Anyway, it's probably other people jumping the chair room. I didn't even notice yet. But I got to get to the get-tos, man. We also have my main man. My man, look, this show is going to take so damn long to get off the damn ground. I'm announcing all these folks. You know what we're going to do, we got to do. That's what we do around here. We also got the host of the Underground Railroad Show. You can catch him on SME as well. He is a real cash ranger. He is the diplomat. Dipset. What? Ow. That ninja is in the building. Who let them dogs out? I did, goddammit. That motherfucker's hungry. Anyway, so with this whole KD thing, man, like I was trying to say, I had a whole over 24 hours to think about it. And while, yes, because he didn't come to my team, I still don't like it. I'm not going to come on here and bash KD for a few reasons. One, I called in the Doug show. Microwave. That sounds just like it did. Anyway, I called in the Doug show sometime last week, and I was pretty much telling Doug, yo, it's this era nowadays now, man. Like, these cats, number one, you got to realize something. KD went to Oak Hill. KD's from D.C., but he went to Oak Hill Academy, and that's in Virginia. My man Cliff Hawkins went there, too. I told you about my man Cliff. Anyway, KD went to Oak Hill, and Oak Hill Academy is basically, for what you could call it, it doesn't even have to be in the DC, in the DMV, metropolitan area. It's like a lot of the best players, a lot of the best high school players go to play at Oak Hill Academy, and KD went there. So he's already used to playing with the best players available, per se. Like I was telling Doug, man, it's just this era, man. We're in the AAU era where a lot of these guys who make it to the league have played with each other on some way, shape, or form, in some way, shape, or form, on some level prior to making it to the league. Even if they played against each other and never played together, some of these guys played together on Olympic teams, all-star games, and you never know what type of relationships these folks get. You know what I'm saying? You cook with the microwave. So we're just in that era to where, now, if you really look at it in the 90s, 80s, at least to my knowledge, I was born in 81, so I wouldn't know much about, how they looked at it before, like, 88, you know what I'm saying? 87, 88. So, but back in the days, how good or great of an NBA player you were, especially when it comes down to, like, the history of the game, it never really was predicated on how many championships you got. And now, come the year like 2000s or whatever, everything really pretty much became not really how many rings you have. Well, yes. First and foremost, if you have a ring. Secondly, how many rings you have. You feel me? If you hear me knocking, let me in. It started off with if you have a ring, and if you do have a ring, how many do you have? Like, so you got players like Charles Barkley and Patrick Ewing and I don't think Oakley. No, Oakley wasn't in Chicago when they started winning. Charles Oakley and Dikembe Mutombo and Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, Karl Malone, John Stockton, as Jersey would call him, Horshack, Jeff Hornacek. There's so many players out. Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter. There's so many players out there that don't have a ring. It became the factor was when it comes to your place in history, not, they got their own rankings of like the 50 greatest players of all time, and they got their own rankings, but within the 50 greatest players of all time, I can't remember who they are, 1 through 50, but I would have to say at least 75% of them probably have at least one championship. At least one. And it became to the point to where when they judge you in NBA history, damn near in almost any sport, maybe outside of NFL, but they still kind of do lump Dan Marino into that. He never won a championship. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to this, the latest, since 2000, we say, between 2004, shit, damn near when LeBron came in the league. But from that point into now, it's kind of the narrative switch as to how many rings you have. Not what you did for your team, not what type of scrubs you brought to the finals or what type of scrubs you carried on your back. It really became how many rings do you have? Well, first is if you have rings, and then afterwards is how many rings do you have? So with that being said, you got the AAU era now where, guys have played with each other or, have played against each other at a young age, maybe caught an all-star game or two together, maybe played in Olympics together, going overseas somewhere for a month or so, a couple months, and these guys, like, they don't care because this is what they say, if you ask me. The media, you cook with the microwave, on SME. The media is going to trash you for doing something like KD did, majority of them, or something like LeBron did, a few years back when he left Cleveland, went to Miami. But the reality is, you win a couple titles and they're not talking about this. These same media members. You lose a couple titles and they're not really you win a couple titles and they're not really talking about this when your career is over. They'll just say he won X amount of rings or he's got a championship. Okay? Flip side. Kevin Durant has everything you could actually want in as far as his career goes in basketball. He has an MVP. He's how many times? He's a four-time league scoring leader. Might be a four or five-time scoring champ in the league. 7-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA in nine seasons. So with that being said, the only thing he doesn't have is a ring. How he chooses to chase that ring, it's really his choice. And the reason why I've kind of backed off, like I said, man, I still don't like the decision, but I'm not gonna trash him for it. Basketball wise, and when the story came out about KD and what he was gonna do and where he was gonna go, the one thing he stuck to was it's gonna be a basketball decision. It's gonna be a basketball decision. Grego says, I got nominated this week for saying that I'm rooting for the Warriors when Doug was rooting against them. I'm kind of like a nominee filler until someone does something worse. Greg out. My man. But like I said, everybody out there listening, Grego will be referred to nothing more on this show other than my stat man. I won't talk about the Patriots. Greg, you see, Grego, even though sometimes he's a no call, no show at work. It's very rare that he's a no call, no show. But Grego does show up to work a lot.